Inside, finds Doncic. And good teamwork for the two. It up for the dunk. Doncic, long three-pointer. That's good. And you can hear the roar. There are so huge call. Jordan Goodwin, who just signed two-way contract. J.J. Redick likes him. Doncic knocks down the three. Clock down to 5. Doncic shoots over. Nikola Jokic can't get it. Fight for the rebound.
Yo. Good morning. How we doing today, Coach?
We're doing great. I'm feeling great. I'm heading out of town tomorrow. I'm going to the great state of Tennessee.
For what?
On a little road trip. On a little getaway.
For what?
A little getaway.
For what?
To finally relax after such a stressful and disappointing and just...
Sounds like you're trying to get away to do ayahuasca.
No. I'm not a ayahuasca enthusiast like Aaron Rodgers. That's not me, man. That is not me. But, yeah, looking forward to enjoying this.
Well, that's good. I'm glad you're able to get away. I need to get away, too. And when I get away, I need to stay the fuck away because this shit...
Stay the fuck out the kitchen.
Stay the fuck out the kitchen forever is what I need to do. But, I'm glad that you're able to get away. It has been a very... tumultuous season that finally, I won't say finally, but came to a conclusion this past Monday. I won't get into the particulars of it. I'll just say it was one hell of a season in a lot of ways. That's all I can really say.
Coach, what do we always say? Belt to what?
Yeah, belt to motherfucking ass. That's exactly what happened. But it's okay. We'll take this season and learn from it as coaches. Yep. Hopefully the guys that we got returning next year, they'll live with that sting of how that feels, and they will work this off season to make sure next season doesn't have the same narrative.
No doubt.
But let's go ahead and get into our show, Coach. Let's get into our show. First thing on the docket that we want to talk about. We open up the show, obviously, with Luka putting on a little magic against the Denver Nuggets.
Yep.
And just recently last night, we saw Luka Doncic able to beat his former team. A lot of emotions was in the arena. He got a technical 3 minutes into the game because he was just that pumped and that fired up. They ended up winning the game by 899 to 107. So my question for you is, have the Lakers finally figured out the Luka integration? Do you believe that this Luka and LeBron pairing and J.J. Redick have figured this thing out and that the Lakers are going to be finding themselves in the Western Conference Finals and making their way to the NBA Finals, and this could be the year that LeBron gets his final ring, and it'll all be due to Luka Doncic and his sudden emergence and commitment to his health and body and defense and yada, yada, yada.
Yep.
Do you think all of that is going to happen on the back end of this season and going into the end of the 2025 NBA season? Do you think that's going to happen?
Well, in this very moment, I do not think they've completely figured it out yet. It's not necessarily the well-oiled machine that they necessarily want it to be. I believe that they're getting there. I think they're finally figuring out what to do on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah.
I think we've seen LeBron kind of step into that 4 spot. And like you mentioned in the previous episodes, and he's playing that role very well. Luka's doing great at the one position, playmaking, creating for himself and for teammates. And it was so funny watching the Lakers Mavericks game last night, because towards the end of that game, Luka was in the low post, or started in the high post, was working his way down. Him and LeBron were just passing it back and forth. Like, Luka would back him down twice, pass it right back out. LeBron would give it right back to him, back him down a little bit more, pass it right back out. And then LeBron ended up hitting that 3 that pretty much sealed the deal at the end of the game. So I think they're starting to figure it out. Will they completely figure it out by playoffs? I think that's the goal, and I think that's likely of happening.
Okay.
Just because I don't think there's necessarily much more to figure out. I think on the defensive end, especially in this Denver game, they had a very interesting strategic game plan against Nikola Jokic
Right.
and stopping that. So I think not only on the offensive side of the ball, they're figuring out how to integrate Luka, but also on defense. I think we've seen Luka play some of his best defense we've seen from him.
He's trying. He's giving what I've been saying the whole time is all you really need from him is just give a little bit of effort. Just try.
And maybe this is what he needed, right? He needed that trade to ignite and re-spark.
And I said that. Yep. I said that when JJ was here on our episode, I think it was episode 20.
20, yep.
And we were talking about Luka, and I was saying that, in Dallas, Luka would never become the player that you wanted him to become because he was too comfortable in being like, I'm fucking Luka. I'm Luka fucking Doncic. Like, who is telling me what to do in Dallas? Like, right. I am the man here. And when you have that type of feeling, it's hard to motivate a guy who doesn't feel like they need to be motivated or even feel like you have the ability to tell them what to do when they run the show. So in order for him to come to a reality of what Dallas was hoping and wishing and screaming for him to do, a trade basically knocked him off his high horse and made him realize, like, oh shit, I lost $110 million. Mm-hmm. I'm no longer on the team that I want to be on. I'm no longer on the team that I was the face of. I'm no longer in the community that I grew up in. I'm in a whole different place. The lights are 10 times brighter. I'm playing with LeBron James. The Lakers have a history of winning, and I'm Luka Doncic, which means that I have to perform here. Otherwise, I'm not saying his career be over with, but the image of Luka will be forever tainted because it's one thing to be a lazy superstar in Dallas. It's another to be a lazy superstar with the Los Angeles Lakers.
Yeah, no doubt.
But as far as my feeling on whether or not he's been integrated, I do think that they have worked him in well. I do think, like I said, with LeBron, if he's willing to play the power forward more and let Luka handle the ball, then that's the best thing for them as a team. I do still wonder in the playoffs, will their lack of big men in size at the rim come into play, but I do feel like JJ Redick will kind of figure out something. Maybe they'll just turn into a very perimeter-oriented, scrappy defensive team, so that way they can kind of limit penetration and force a lot of things from the outside. If the Lakers can do that and kind of keep things in front of them, in some way be able to hide Luka on defense to where Luka is probably like a bottom effort guy, like he's playing on the bottom on the defense a little bit more, and he's kind of helping rebound and do things like that. If that's the effort that you can get from Luka while you allow other guys to work the perimeter and defend from there, I think that's a way that you can scheme that up defensively, and that can work well. But are they a contender? Fuck no. I'm not a believer in the Lakers as far as them winning a championship. I do think they'll be a great story in the playoffs. And I did think that they will slide out of that fifth spot. I may have been wrong with that prediction. Mm-hmm. So I'll say that I probably was wrong for that because I did think that they were going to slide. I didn't think that they were going to stay top five. But who knows? There's still more games to play. I will say that the Dallas game, although they won, I think everybody in the NBA should be nervous that Dallas is still able to look like a fair team that you have to try to beat, without Anthony Davis, without Daniel Gafford, without Derek Lively. Like, they have no front court right now. And they're still able to compete in games and kind of be close and ball. So when those guys get back, especially Anthony Davis and Gafford or Lively, when that front court gets back, this Dallas team is going to be very, very dangerous.
Yeah,
I just want to say that.
Yeah, no doubt. And I think it's a matter of when they come back too, because when they do come back, it's going to be very crucial for them to get up and running in a very timely manner because, the playoffs are right around the corner.
Yeah, I think Daniel Gafford probably won't be back until literally when the playoffs start. Yeah. Derek Lively somewhat along that same timeline, and then Dallas hasn't really officially put out a timeline for Anthony Davis.
Lord knows what's going on there.
But moving on, Coach, let's play our game. You ready to play our game?
Yes, sir.
Let's play our game. Who's cooking and who should stay the out the kitchen? Number one on Who's Cooking, I gotta give it to him. He been through a lot of shit this whole season. His name has been floated around for a lot of different things, from blame to trades to starting to benching. But Bradley Beal is coming along and doing well for the Phoenix Suns. I think he has officially embraced his complete role, whatever it is, whether he's a starter, whether he's coming off the bench, regardless of what it is that Coach Budenholzer is asking of him. He is coming in as a professional and giving Phoenix, as of late, everything that they're looking for to help them win some games. Now, I still question with Phoenix right now, do they have enough defensive effort to be a real, I guess, creeper to try to get into the play-in? Right now, they're 11th in the Western Conference. 10th is the Sacramento Kings. I believe they're either 10th or 9th. They're either 9th or 10th. Yeah. Maybe Golden State is still 10th or something like that. I'm not sure. But yeah, if you could, as you look up the standings. But what I want to say about them is that my only concern with Phoenix, even though Bradley Beal is starting to play better, Kevin Durant is Kevin Durant, Devin Booker is Devin Booker, there's going to come a time where you're going to need all three of those guys on the floor at the same time to win games.
Yeah.
Are they going to be good defensively together is the real question. And that is my biggest concern for them, is that when it comes down to Budenholzer having to make a decision about putting his best players on the floor to win close games throughout the rest of this season, and potentially if they can make the play-in, and potentially if they can make the playoffs, Devin Booker, KD, and Bradley Beal will have to be on the floor together if Phoenix has any chance of winning anything. And I just wonder if there's going to be great defensive effort from all three of those guys collectively on the floor together.
Yeah, no doubt. Just to give a breakdown of the Western Conference standings. So the Clippers are actually sitting at 6th. The Timberwolves are tied for them for that 6th spot. They're both 15 games back from the first place spot.
Okay.
The Warriors sit at 8th. They're half a game.
Up.
They're only half a game back from both the Clippers and the Timberwolves, so they can easily jump up to 6.
They've been moving up.
The Kings, the Mavericks sit at the 9th position. They're half a game back from the Warriors.
Okay.
So, and then the Kings sit at 10. They're 1 game back from the Mavericks. And Phoenix sits at 11th. They're 2.5 games back from Sacramento. So I think from 6 to 10, there's a lot more movement that could occur. Phoenix, the thing that Phoenix needs to do in order to accomplish at least a play-in berth, they need to go on a crazy run to end this season, because I think Sacramento is starting to figure out, how to use Levine as well.
Yeah.
With De'Aaron Fox being away, the Warriors are looking better than ever. You know what I mean? They look phenomenal right now with Jimmy Butler and Buddy Hield probably playing some of their best basketball. The Timberwolves are going up from here. I think
they're a roller coaster.
They are, but I think they're going to start figuring out. They had a big momentum win against the Thunder. I think it was last night or 2 nights ago from today.
Overtime.
Yeah, in that overtime game. It was great. And then the Clippers just been surprisingly at 6. They're kind of just staying right there, middle of the pack. But again, that 6 to 10 spot is so dynamic and could fluctuate at any time. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw the Clippers drop to 9 or 10 or even fall out of the play-in.
There's a chance that could happen too. But speaking of the AFC, the Warriors, I want to move on to the next guy that's cooking, and obviously we know who that is. It can always be the chef, but we're going to talk about the Butler.
Yes, sir.
Jimmy Butler. And I'm not going to spend too much time really quickly because we're going to really get into this a little bit later, but all I'm going to say is he's exactly what the chef ordered. He's exactly what the chef needed.
Yeah.
He's exactly what Mike Dunleavy Jr. Was hoping Jimmy would be in that addition and trying to trade for him to the Golden State and getting him to the Golden State Warriors. He has been exactly what they were missing as far as the additional force and additional offensive weapon that they needed on the offensive side, because for the longest, defenses were able to lock in on this driving kick spacing offensive flow that the Golden State Warriors had, because Andrew Wiggins, as much as I like him, he didn't offer the same force that Jimmy Butler offers on the post. And Jimmy Butler on the post creates a dynamic in which you know that he's going to take advantage. You know that he's going to get free throws if you don't try to double team him. He commands that. So now that opens up opportunities on the weak side for flare screens, pin down screens for Steph to come off and get shots. And or if that's not available, other guys can take back cuts, like Draymond can set a screen from a guard from the weak side, and that guy can come off a back screen and dive straight to the basket, and Jimmy can find them. Or Jimmy can take it straight up himself on a fadeaway or get fouled and go to the free throw line, which, by the way, him single-handedly coming to the Warriors has improved their free throw percentage as a team by himself, because they were almost dead last in free throw percentage and free throw attempts in the NBA before he got there. Now they're probably, I think they moved up to like top 15 now, all because of him. And obviously he shoots a great percentage, and him combined with Steph. So this Warriors team may end up out of that eighth seed and ending up, they might end up taking over the sixth spot.
We'll say that.
We'll say that. But what are your thoughts on Jimmy's addition?
Just real quick. I mean, since the day he got traded, and with that first game against Chicago, in Chicago, no, he's looked great. I think he's one of those guys that fits into a lot of situations because of the role he can fill.
Okay.
I think defensively, he's one of the premier defenders still in the league.
Yep.
Offensively, he's got a game that could translate to a lot of different teams no matter what. That kind of low post threat, but also willing to step out, hit a shot if he needs to.
Yeah.
And he's also just a very grindy, hustle type of guy.
Yeah.
I mean, he'll go after the loose balls that maybe not everybody else will go and get. He's going to work. So I think that, combined with just the rest of the roster makeup and the rise of, I forget his first name, but the big man Post.
Yes,
Quinton Post. I think the combination
they just found him.
Yeah, I think the combination of those, of Jimmy and Quinton Post, really just coming to life here for Golden State, is going to allow them to do great things maybe very recently, or very soon.
Yeah.
What I'd like to say. But let's go ahead, get to our favorite part of the game.
Yes. Who should stay the fuck out the kitchen? And number one, I'm going to make this quick. Pat Riley. It's time for you to move on. It's literally time for you to let go of being the president or GM of the Miami Heat and move the fuck out the way, because your ego will forever cause you to lose out on great players in your organization, and your way of doing things is very off-putting and can only work for a certain type of superstar and a certain type of mentality, which limits you and your ability to find or get all the talent that's available in the league. So you're limited to only getting a certain type of guy, and you got to hope that certain type of guy is either available at free agency when that organization has the money to pay, and or you have to find that certain type of guy in the draft and hope that that guy can blossom into a superstar. So with that being said, Pat Riley, you need to stay the fuck out the kitchen, and you probably need to go ahead and leave the fucking house as well.
Yeah, I mean, I've just got one thing to point out. All I got to say about Pat Riley is, just what's on the graphic. Maybe I am washed. I think he is.
Yeah.
He hasn't built necessarily a successful team since, LeBron was on the Miami Heat.
Yeah.
And I guess when Jimmy and company made the NBA Finals.
But that was, to me, that's just Jimmy. That's not really Pat Riley doing something. I mean, Jimmy and Eric Spoelstra.
Right.
I'll give Spoelstra credit for the coaching, but
sure.
Jimmy carried that team.
But yeah, it's not maybe I am washed. I am washed.
Yeah.
He's very washed.
All right, next on the list to stay the fuck out the kitchen. And, I'm going to say they need to stay the fuck out the kitchen, and they're close to getting kicked out the fucking house, too. Joel Embiid. I don't know exactly how long the situation with Joel Embiid will last, this saga of him being healthy, not being healthy, him getting treatment, and treatment is regressive and not really progressing him the way that it needs to be. It seems like we've gotten to a point in Joel Embiid's career where We thought that maybe he might be able to play another 3 to 4 years. It seems like Joel Embiid at the end of this contract, and maybe not to the end of this extended contract that he got, but we might be looking at Joel Embiid having 2 more years at max playing in the NBA at a high level, and after that, he potentially may not even be a serviceable big as a backup because his injuries looks like it will rob him of the greatness that potentially he could have had and could have been. And that's very sad, but it feels like I would say the 76ers need to really consider moving on from Joel Embiid for whatever they can get this offseason.
I also think the 76ers need to consider moving on from their team doctor. I mean, you look at the guys. You look at the guys they had during their playoff runs in about like the 2015 to 2018 years. Ben Simmons couldn't stay on the fucking court. Joel Embiid couldn't stay on the court either, and can't remain on the court at all for more than 3 games at a time.
Paul George is hurt.
I mean, Maxey's probably your only guy, but that's because he's young. You know what I mean? Like, you have so many aging superstars or stars, and you can't take care of them. You can't take care of their bodies, or I don't know, maybe their nutritionist is like feeding them fucking bullshit. I don't know. I mean, we saw him eating a hamburger or cheeseburgers on the sideline, right? So
it's like the Bulls. Remember when the Bulls medical staff was really bad at one point? Yeah.
I think they still are, man. But
but I don't know if they're as bad as they used to be.
Not as bad as they used to be.
But you know what? That's a good point. Their medical staff over in Philadelphia needs to be a little. Somebody needs to ask some questions about that.
They need to stay the fuck out the kitchen.
Yeah, but they're sitting at number 12 in the Eastern Conference, so I think they may actually be happy with what's going on because at least at this point they can walk away with this season thinking if we can get rid of Paul George and we can get rid of Joel Embiid, we're sitting here with Tyrese Maxey, Jerry McCain, and probably a top 4 lottery pick, maybe they land 6, 7, something. I'm not sure, but they're looking at the opportunity of adding in a great young player to go with Tyrese Maxey and McCain, not to mention whatever they get if they are able to move a Paul George and or Joel Embiid.
Right.
All right, that's been our game of who's cooking and who should stay the fuck out the kitchen. Now, on to the halftime report. Yeah. All right. Up first on the halftime report, let's get back into this Golden State thing.
Yes.
The chef and the butler is what we have right now. Stephen Curry, Jimmy Butler doing a goddamn thing since Jimmy Butler has came over to the Golden State Warriors. They are 5-1. And it looks like I project them to probably finish out the rest of these 30 games, probably going somewhere between 25-5, the way that they're playing, or at the very least 20-10. Right? They either go 20-10 or 25-5, and I think that's how they can finish the season out. If they do that, 2 questions for you. Will they find themselves out of that play-in spot, number 8, into the actual playoff picture so that they don't have to be in the play-in? And 2, Draymond Green opened up his mouth on NBA All-Star Weekend and said that the Golden State Warriors will win the championship. So my 2 questions for you is, will they get out the play-in, and do you believe that they will win the NBA championship with this new-look team?
Will they make it out of the play-in? Yes. I think they could at least end up at 6.
Okay.
And I think they could even go as high as 5. I don't think they go any higher than that. I think
who's 5 right now? I think the Lakers are 5, right?
I think they're 4. Hold on,
Lakers are 4. The Rockets are 5.
Rockets are 5, and they're 5 games clear of the Clippers at the 6, or 4.5.
Would you want to see the Warriors Lakers in the first round?
That'd be fun. Of course, it's always fun to see.
It's fun, but I don't. If I'm the NBA, I don't want that.
No, because the Lakers are gonna put belt to ass.
You think so?
I think so. Jimmy's got to have his choice of guarding either LeBron or Luka. Who are you going to stick him on? Probably LeBron, right?
Nah, Jimmy's on Luka. Draymond's on LeBron.
Okay. I mean, LeBron makes Draymond dog food, though, every time they play.
I'm okay with that. I just don't want Luka to go off.
You just don't want Luka? I think he still could, though. Just
I don't
based
know.
on what they... I mean... I don't know. I said bust to ass, but I don't know. It could be a really good series, but I think that's something you might want to savor for the second round or
that's a nice
conference final.
That's a semis matchup. I wouldn't want that in the first round. So
no,
it's
a fun one, but
if I'm the NBA. If I'm the NBA and I can have it my way, I would rather see the Golden State Warriors stay at 6 and not play the Lakers in the first round.
Yeah.
But keep going.
Yeah, so I mean, yes, I think they could definitely get up to 6 or even 5. I think 5's kind of far-fetched just because of the game gap, unless the Rockets fall off a hill, which I don't think they will. They're very well coached. They're a well structured team as well. As far as can they win it all, I don't think so. I don't think they're going to make it to the finals simply because I think the teams they would have to go through are not necessarily the best matchups for them.
Who, the Warriors?
Yeah, like if they have to beat the Thunder, big problem. I don't think they match up.
Really?
Good. I don't think they match up well with the Thunder at all.
Because of Chet?
Chet Holmgren's gonna. I think if he's not back, he's coming back soon already.
I don't know. Quinton Post might actually be able to handle Chet.
Man, I don't know. Quinton Post can move his feet though. He's a little bit of a solid defender.
Yeah. I'm starting to like him a lot and a lot more.
Chet does it all. I think Shea just gets to the foul line. I mean, he's a free throw merchant, so he's gonna get his 10 free throws a game.
I think if you get Jimmy on him for a series, Jimmy he'll figure it out.
I mean, maybe that's the thing. Like I know Jimmy is like one of the best defenders in the league, but I just see Shea still being able to do what Shea does. Not maybe to the extent that he's been doing all year, but I think he could still put up 25 to 27 a night.
Oh, he'll still get his numbers. It just may not be efficient.
But then you got guys like J-Dub. I mean, you got role fillers like Alex Caruso on that team. Like there's just so many. That team is so versatile, and I don't know if Golden State has to match up with them. I think it's a big problem. I think
I will say this, Coach, just as a quick caveat.
Yep.
And I want to see what you think about this though. We haven't seen the Warriors yet with Kuminga. With Jimmy Butler back.
That's very true. Yeah, I didn't even note that. Yeah. I wonder how much of a role, because Kuminga would probably would he come off the bench at this point?
I don't know. Because you could start it, and this is crazy.
If you want
but
to.
you wanted to start it, you can start it. Steph, Jimmy, Kuminga, Draymond, and Post.
Ooh, that's a tough lineup, man. That's a tough lineup. Sheesh.
If you wanted to, you could start it that way.
I think they match up well with everybody else in the West except for the Thunder. Like I think they would match up well against the Grizzlies. I think they match up well against the Nuggets.
You think they match up well against the Nuggets?
I think so.
See, that's the team that scares me the most.
Really?
For Golden State, yeah, because I think they just have too much hype for them.
Okay,
you got Michael Porter Jr., you got Aaron Gordon, you got Jokic. You got Braun.
Yeah, but
you got Westbrook coming off the bench. There's a lot cooking in Denver that people are just not paying attention to.
I think they're overrated as fuck, but
that's fair.
You know what I mean? I just think they're overrated as fuck. I think we saw that last year.
But Jamal Murray also wasn't healthy. He wasn't fully healthy the way that he's starting to show that he's healthy.
Yeah, how's he playing now?
He's playing a lot better now than he did and than he has been during the course of this regular season.
I think if just quick sidebar on the Nuggets, I think like if they want to make any noise in this playoff run, Jamal Murray is going to have to go back to Jamal Murray from 3 years ago.
The bubble.
Yeah, the bubble Jamal Murray.
Yeah.
Because other than that, they stand no chance. Michael Porter Jr. is too inconsistent. I like him, but he's too inconsistent. Aaron Gordon ain't going to give you crazy numbers. You're really just relying on Jokic to give you 40 a night at that point if Jamal Murray can't put up numbers.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, for me, the team that does scare me the most for Golden State is Denver, but I can understand why you feel that way. I think everybody else that they can find a way, but like I said, with Golden State, we haven't seen them with Kuminga yet.
This is very true.
And they're already doing what they're doing without Kuminga playing. With the addition of Kuminga and what he's going to be able to bring in transition on defense in the half court, I'm interested to see what kind of player Jimmy Butler can bring out of Kuminga.
Right.
What kind of dog he can bring out of Kuminga, because now you may be able to put Kuminga on Luka Doncic.
Yeah.
Faster, lengthier, quicker. This Golden State. Okay, so can they win it all? I'm not sold on that, but with thinking about how they've been playing and the kind of schemes and the kind of pressure they can put on you, and with Kuminga coming back, I won't be surprised if they pull it off.
So let me ask you this: do you think they make it to the finals?
To the NBA finals
do they
or
make
the
it
Western
there?
Conference finals?
The NBA finals. Do you think they make it there? Because I think they can make the Western Conference
You're
finals.
putting me on the hot seat.
Yeah. You think they make the NBA finals?
Man, it really depends on who they play.
Kind of just how the bracket looks, right?
It really just depends on where they end up and who they end up playing. I do think they have all the pieces technically to play any type of style, because when you think they got Kevon Looney, who can always slide in as a power forward if you ever really want to go big man and got to go big next to post. You got Tracy Jackson Davis that you can throw in at the 5 next to post if you want post to be like a stretch 4. So their front court can find ways to manage against the bigger teams. And then they have all of the guards and wings from Santos, Pajinski, Steph, Kuminga, Butler. And then Draymond is like, I don't know. The way that they have their roster, you're putting me on the hot seat. All right, fuck it. I'm just going to give you an answer. Yes, they can make it to the NBA Finals.
I don't hate it.
Yes.
I don't hate it.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Moving on.
Let's see what y'all say in the comments section.
Yeah. I might
really
get killed.
intrigued to
I might
see
get
that.
killed. Some people might be like, this guy is smoking too much.
I think it's a good conversation to have, though. I think it goes multiple ways, but I like that take, man. That's a spicy one.
All right, moving on to our next segment in the halftime report. Ian Cunningham, the assistant GM for the Chicago Bears, just can't seem to find a GM job anywhere.
No.
Anywhere. I really wanted that 3rd round pick, so I'm kind of pissed.
Would it be 1 or 2?
I think it's 2.
I think we would get 2.
I think it's 2 compensatory 3rd round picks.
Yeah.
So I am trying to figure out why this guy just can't land a GM job. And I looked at his resume, and his resume is pretty good. He worked in Baltimore as a athletic director, college personnel coach, somebody that looked, and somebody that was a scout and different things like that in Baltimore, did similar things with Philadelphia as well. And now he's with the Bears. So my question for you is he being looked over because of what is the recency bias with the Chicago Bears? Or do you think his resume isn't good enough?
I think it is the recency bias.
Okay.
I do believe he does have a pretty impressive resume compared to who the Jaguars actually did sign.
Gladstone, I think it's James Gladstone or something like that. But he's from the Rams organization.
Right, but regardless, he's very young.
Yeah, he's like 34.
34. I just saw his press conference like literally a couple minutes before the show started, and man, that boy looks like he's like 22, 23 years old.
Yeah, it's like sitting down with me.
Yeah,
being the GM.
Yeah, that's crazy, right? So I mean, why can't Ian Cunningham find himself a head GM job? It's a tough question to answer. I think really the only team in the past 2 to 3 years that's been really being consistent and like interviewing Ian Cunningham is the Jacksonville Jaguars. Maybe there's something that Shad Khan necessarily doesn't like in Ian Cunningham. Maybe he's not a believer in what he's been doing in Chicago. Again, coming back to that recency bias where, of course, you see how some of the previous drafts have gone for the Bears.
That's a good one.
Like, with drafting guys like Velus Jones, with drafting guys like I don't even know who else, but again, he's heavily involved in the draft process.
Right.
And, one could argue that the Bears haven't necessarily drafted the best since Ian Cunningham has gotten here. I'm not saying that they drafted better before, but you could argue that too. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
you could argue that.
You can make an argument. I wouldn't necessarily
say it's a right one.
Yeah, and I wouldn't necessarily say that our drafting has been completely just like a dud.
Not at all. No.
I think I'm a stand with you in that it's more so recency bias. I do think the failure of this season and how things went really put a stain on his ability to get another GM job, because Jacksonville, arguably, not saying they're in the same situation, but they have a youngish quarterback, Trevor Lawrence, who was also marked as like a generational type of quarterback, a once in a lifetime prospect that you shouldn't pass up on. And seeing how we managed Caleb this season probably put a bad taste in Khan's mouth regarding, do I want to give this guy the reins on being able to build something around my generational quarterback? And then you look at Gladstone, who's coming from an organization like the Rams, who have been able to hit on a multitude of picks.
Right.
Recently won a Super Bowl maybe about 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah, I think it was in 2020 or 21.
Yeah, something like that. So it's coming off, he's coming from an organization that's been able to put something together, understanding how to draft, how to look into free agency. So I do think the recency bias is what's getting Ian Cunningham sent away. It's getting him interviews because his resume is impressive.
Right, yeah.
But I think the recency bias, people have to see Chicago do well.
And
if Chicago does well,
Yep.
then things will open up for him.
And I was about to say that, just to interject, like, I think if Chicago could do well this year, make the playoffs or something along those lines, and just look like a functioning and
the Giants GM gets fired.
I was about to say that, dude. Yeah,
Yep.
like Joe Schoen could definitely be on his way out if he makes one wrong move this year.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised if that job opening opens up next year or next season, and Ian Cunningham and the Bears do well this year. I could definitely see Ian Cunningham wanting to go to New York, because that's a big market. There's a lot of money to play with there. You know, you could really try to reel in some guys just because it's a very storied franchise. You're in New York. Of course, people don't like paying the income tax there, but you know what I mean, you get to be in the big market.
Now, speaking of New York, that leads us perfectly right into our next segment, Coach. So we're going to do something fun today, and we're going to implement this a lot through, some various episodes all the way up until we get to the actual draft, because at that point we'll have our answers. But just for our fans and for us to have a little fun, we are going to go to our draft simulator sponsored by Pro Football Focus. So we need the iPad charted up so we can get that together for our people at home watching, because this will be a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
Yeah, this is going to be fun. I think we've got a couple teams selected for you guys today that we're going to kind of run through scenarios and just kind of talk about on the fly here, and kind of just simulate a draft where, maybe there's trades being made. I mean, when we were prepping the show, Coach Malcolm kept me on the call for about an hour because he just kept playing with this fucking website.
Stuff.
Yeah, so.
All right, so we want to start with the New York Giants first, right?
Yeah, we will start with the New York Giants. We're just going to.
So let's play with the Giants. We're going to click them as our team. We're going to start the draft in the first round, because that's really what it boils down to. Now, here's the question for us. We could easily sit right here and we could just draft whoever is available for us, right? Or we can consider trading the number 3 pick. Now, if you are the New York Giants, how far are you willing to go down?
Not far at all. Not far at all, because I think in this draft, New York needs to get themselves a quarterback.
Now, can they get a quarterback in free agency? Are you comfortable with saying
nope?
If you're Joe Schoen, you don't think you can sell your fan base on getting, let's say you get a Matthew Stafford. Can you sell your fan base on getting Matthew Stafford to the Giants?
I mean, again, that would have to be a trade, though, because Matthew Stafford still has one more year on his contract. So that would have to be done in a trade, and I'm not necessarily sure that's what you want to do, because the Giants aren't anywhere near win-now mode. I think it would be more beneficiary to take a rookie quarterback, reset your books off of the Daniel Jones experiment era, and let a rookie quarterback come in and quarterback for Malik Neighbors, help that support him, and work from there and let them progress together.
All right.
Because
So
I'm just looking at real quick like the quarterback free agents in the market.
right.
There's not much. I mean, you've got Sam Darnold. Is that someone you want to necessarily bring in? I don't know. Justin Fields is out there. I mean,
They're probably not going to get him.
Russell Wilson, Jameis Winston, Marcus Mariota, Mason Rudolph. Like,
And
there's
Aaron
not,
Rodgers.
he's not a free agent. He would have to get traded again. That would have to be a trade.
Aaron Rodgers isn't a free agent?
Not a free agent. No.
Oh, the Jets are just saying they don't want him back.
Yep. Yeah, Aaron Glenn. Yeah, Aaron Glenn came out
and just said, I just don't want him.
Yeah, because when he first came on, they're like, okay, yeah, we're gonna evaluate and see what we're gonna do with Aaron, and they made the decision that they don't want Aaron. They said bye Aaron. So, anyways, yeah, I do think at this number 3 pick, New York has to go quarterback.
So they have to draft quarterback.
Have to.
All right, start the draft and see what happens.
I really wonder what Tennessee's gonna do at 1, and I think that's a team we picked, but let's see what happens. Okay.
So who goes first?
As we see, Cam Ward goes first to Tennessee. I think that's possible. It's very possible.
And Travis
Hunter goes to Cleveland. All right, so PFF is very random at times. I think if Cleveland has the pick here, they probably go Abdul Carter to maybe try and incentivize Myles Garrett to stay.
Okay, but let's say just keep it at that. We got Cam Ward going to Tennessee as a first quarterback.
Yep.
Are you sure that the New York Giants are going to draft Shedeur Sanders?
Yes. Yeah.
So that's what you do.
If your New York isn't necessarily the right move and that quarterback of the future for them, I don't know. I don't know if I'm much of a believer in Shedeur Sanders, to be honest with you. But I think that is a pick you have to make at 3, just because last year, yes, you got Malik Neighbors, but you did have a chance to move up a couple of spots to go get a Jaden Daniels or Caleb Williams, and you didn't want to pull the trigger. Joe Schoen, right? So I think at 3, in order to redeem yourself and to keep your job after the draft, you have to go quarterback, and the only quarterback that makes sense here is Shedeur Sanders.
Do me a favor. Click the portion of it that says trade.
Trade, okay.
All right, now if you can zoom in a little bit so everybody can see. All right. That drop down box where it says select the team to trade with. Let's see who's interested in the number 3 pick. So if we scroll up,
so we got Carolina.
Carolina's interested,
and they have the 8th pick. New Orleans is interested with the 9th pick. 49ers are interested. Cowboys, Dolphins, Falcons, Cardinals, Seahawks, Denver, Detroit, Washington, and Philly.
Now, let me ask you a question.
Teams.
At the number 12 pick with the Dallas Cowboys, are you willing to trade that pick for Michael Parsons?
No.
You're not willing to trade the number 3 pick for Michael Parsons?
They need somebody to quarterback the team. Who are they going to have quarterback?
You just get a stopgap for the time being.
They can't. They need a quarterback. If you want any chance that Malik Neighbors re-signs with you once his rookie deal is up, you need to give him a quarterback that's going to play with him throughout his contract. If you don't do that this year, you put yourself in a really bad position in losing Malik Neighbors, and I don't think New York can afford that. This is why I truly do believe, no matter what, I think falling all the way back to 8, maybe you could still get Shedeur, but I think maybe at 6.
That's your cutoff.
And the Raiders aren't necessarily, according to PFF, they're not interested in moving up from 6 to 3, and that means I think if Shedeur is available at 6, I think Vegas could definitely go ahead and do that.
All right, so the consensus is we draft Shedeur if we're the New York Giants.
I think if you're the New York Giants,
go ahead and draft Shedeur.
And PFF's going to say it's a bad pick because he's ranked 45th in PFF.
Let's just draft him.
We're going to draft Shedeur. All right, boom. Analyzing the draft, grading it F.
PFF says that's a bad deal.
Well, PFF is also saying we should have drafted Abdul Carter.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, is very possible, is maybe something that should have happened. Again, just to go back into it, right? So, oh wow, that's crazy how that changed. But regardless, yeah, I mean, if you gotta take the next quarterback available, you just have to if you're New York.
Okay. All right, let's switch. Let's play as if we're New England. So let's say we're the New England Patriots. We start the draft.
So we're at 4.
All right, let's talk about New England. New England, I don't think they are stern and steady on having to stay at the number 4 pick. They already have their quarterback. So
They do.
this is where I think things get interesting. I think 2 teams. Let's go to let's go to, is there trade offers up yet?
Yes.
Okay. Let's look at the teams that's willing to trade.
Oh, well, we would have to get to our pick.
Oh, okay, yeah. Let's get to our pick first.
Okay. Oh, wow.
All right, well, who was taken?
Cam Ward, Mason Graham, and Travis Hunter.
Okay, so Hunter went to the Giants.
Well, for me, this is a no-brainer if you're the Patriots, though. Because do you see who's still on the board?
Abdul Carter.
That's who you take.
All right, now let's see who's willing to trade.
Who's willing to trade?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see.
So the first team on top of the board that's willing to trade for
There
the
they
number
are.
4 pick is the Chicago Bears.
Wow.
Now, my question for you, who else is willing to trade?
Dallas at 12.
Mm-hmm.
Arizona at 16.
Mhm.
Denver at 20.
Mm-hmm.
The Los Angeles Chargers at 22.
Mm-hmm.
The Vikings at 24. The Rams at 26.
Uh-huh.
And the Lions at 28.
So I think the team that is going to trade up to this, 2 teams that I think will be willing to gamble for that number 4 spot. The Rams
Mm-hmm.
and the Chicago Bears.
I think the Bears only if the top 3 picks were to go somewhat
That
like
way.
this.
Now, because Abdul Carter is there, I do think that's where the Bears will try to step in.
Yes.
But if I'm the Los Angeles Rams, I want the number 4 spot to either get. I'll say for who they're probably going to get. So, if you're the New England Patriots, who do you trade with? Because the thing about it is, you're going to get more from the Rams to move from 26 to 4 than you're going to get from the Bears to move from 10 to 4.
That is very true. At the same time, you could. I think New England benefits with trading for the 10th pick.
Why?
Simply because you still keep a higher pick in the draft and you still get a good selection in a rookie that fits your timeline. Again, like New England is not in win now mode whatsoever. Hence why they have the number 4 pick. I simply believe that they would benefit. They could definitely trade back to 10 because at 10 there's still going to be a good amount of talent available.
But 26, you're not doing it now. What if the Los Angeles Rams are willing to trade you Cooper Kupp and multiple first round picks?
See, and that
or first and second, or third, or something like that.
That's the thing. Like, I guess it really depends on what Cooper Kupp's value is.
All right, let's try it. Let's go to the Los Angeles Rams.
Okay.
Let's say we select a player, and the player that we select is Cooper Kupp. Let's say we give them our 26th pick.
So we give. Oh, the Rams give their 2026 pick.
Yeah.
Patriots give 4.
Yeah, the Patriots give their 4, and then they also give their 26 pick away. The 2025, the number 26, they give that to the Patriots as well.
I think we could probably do another first rounder, to be honest, from the Rams.
I would say change the
mind.
Change the 2026 to a second rounder.
Really?
Yep. Ooh, they won't take it. They'll take it if it's a second round.
They'll take it if it's a first rounder.
No, but take it as a second rounder because if I'm the Rams, I'm already giving you Cooper Kupp and the 26th pick.
Yeah, but I don't think Cooper Kupp's worth a first round pick. I don't think Cooper. Yeah.
It says that the trade will be accepted.
Right, but I'm saying even if you go with a first round pick from the Rams,
well, of
it's
course
the same thing.
Of course it would be.
You know
accepted.
what I mean?
But I'll say go second round. We want to do the least amount. Well, we're New England, so take that back. We're New England,
Right.
So we want that first round.
Right.
So we'll say we'll take that first round.
That's what they
Cool.
take. So they move down to 26. They get a future first rounder,
pick,
and they get Cooper
and
Kupp.
they get Cooper Kupp. Offer the trade.
Yeah, it goes through.
All right. Now resume the draft. Let's see who the Rams take.
The Rams ended up taking Abdul Carter at 4. Wow, him and Jared Verse on the edge. Oh, Lord. That's
Okay.
wow.
Now, that surprises me because they still have Matthew Stafford, so I would have thought that they would have replaced Cooper Kupp with a wide receiver.
Right.
but they didn't. They went Abdul Carter, so they just went best player available. Now, let's get down to New England. Let's take the linebacker. I think that's the linebacker there.
Jalen Walker?
Sherman Stewart. The edge
Shamar
rusher.
Stewart.
Shamar Stewart.
He's the edge
Take
rusher.
Shamar Stewart. Because now we still get that edge. We didn't get Abdul, but we still got an edge. And what do they say about this draft?
A- overall draft grade. Yeah, I mean, you get Cooper Kupp, you get Shamar Stewart, so you get the edge, you get a wide receiver, you get a future first as well. Damn, yeah, I wonder how New England fans will feel about that. The only reason why I don't think this happens is because of the coach you hired,
Mike Vrabel.
He's a defensive guy.
They still get their defensive
right,
guy.
but I know for sure, maybe not for sure, but if Abdul Carter is there at 4, surely they take Abdul Carter.
But here's the thing. Here's the beautiful part about it. You don't necessarily have to worry about Abdul Carter. Now that you picked up that additional first rounder, now you can go after Myles Garrett as well.
Yeah, I mean that's true as well. That is true. And they probably do have a good amount of salary cap.
Yep.
They're
so
to use.
you can move out of that spot if you're New England.
I mean that's interesting. That's
all
very
right.
Interesting.
Let's move on to the next team. Let's go with Tennessee on the clock.
Okay. This is the last one we'll do for today.
Okay, then let's not
We'll
do
save
that.
it for another what do you want to do today?
Let's do Los Angeles.
Los Angeles.
Yeah, let's do Los Angeles instead.
So 26. Okay. The Rams, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do the Rams.
Okay.
Now this is the one that's going to be a lot of fun. I gotta wait till they get to the 26th pick. Do me a favor.
I mean, you could offer trades, but
right now
before it starts. Yeah,
okay.
You just can't see who's interested in your pick.
All right, offer a trade to the New England Patriots again.
Okay.
The same thing that we did before.
Yep. Oh, the same thing.
Yeah. So we give.
So they get 26. We get 4.
Yeah, we give up the first round.
We give up first, and we give up Cooper Kupp.
But yeah, switch it to a second this time.
So if we give it to a second.
Yeah. And
it says the trade will not be accepted.
God damn, they aren't there. So this time,
New England doesn't want to do it. Because we were New England, the Rams wanted to do it for sure.
Yeah.
But
all right, go first round this time.
It'd have to be a first
round.
rounder.
Have to be a first
round. Likely
round.
Be accepted.
All right, offer the trade.
So offer trade.
Trade accepted.
Accepted.
Cool. All right. Now, trade again.
What the fuck's going on, Malcolm?
Trade again. Go to the Las Vegas Raiders.
At 6?
Yep.
Oh, my God.
All right. Put in Matthew Stafford.
Matthew Stafford.
Put in the number 6 pick from the Raiders.
Trade will not be accepted.
Okay. Put in 2027 first round.
81% chance.
Put in the third round pick from 2025.
So that would be 100?
Yeah.
Pick 100 probably. The trade will likely be accepted.
Offer the trade.
Oh, my God. Coach Malcolm's blowing up the fucking Los Angeles Rams over here.
All right, now start the draft.
Okay, now we start. Damn, so the Rams are at 4 and 6. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Okay, so it went Travis, Cam Ward, Abdul Carter.
So Travis, Cam Ward, Abdul Carter. At number 4, here's my question for you. Do you take Mason Graham or do you take the wide receiver? Now you've given up Cooper Kupp and you've given up Matthew Stafford.
Well, I think at this point you got. I think. Damn, that's the thing though. They got
Jared Verse.
Well, and they also got. I'm saying on offense they got Puka Nacua. They got Tutu Atwell as well. They still got Higbee. Damn.
Now go back to the trades. Let's do one more.
One more.
Yep.
Who are we trading with? Who the fuck are we trading with? This is like some draft day fucking movie from 2013 type shit.
Who's at 20? Who's at 22?
22?
22 is
the Chargers.
No, go to.
Yeah, it's the Chargers at 22.
Okay, go to the Texans at 25.
The Texans at 25.
Yep.
Okay, they're not interested.
I know.
But I could pick them.
We're going to make them interested.
Jesus Christ.
Give them the 2027 third-round pick.
Mm-hmm.
See if they'll give us their 25th pick.
Not for that. No way.
All right. Give up the 2026 second-round pick.
Nope.
Give up the 2027 second-round pick.
80%. It's possible. Probably happens.
Give up the 6th-round pick from 2025.
So that would be probably 202.
Yeah.
88%. Or you go 191. Same shit pretty much. We'll give him 202.
Offer the trade and see what happens.
Not
Ooh.
Accepted.
All right, go
What
up.
if we go 191? It's got a 91% chance to be
Try
accepted.
that one.
No.
Go up again.
So this would be probably a 5th-round pick. Likely to be accepted.
Yep.
Okay, they take it.
All right. So now we got a 4, a 6, and a 25.
Jesus.
At 4, take the wide receiver.
So
take Mason Graham.
Mason Graham at 4.
Yep.
Okay, so you're not taking Ted Aurora McMillan?
Not yet.
Okay, so we're going to take Mason Graham. He goes, Ted Aurora McMillan went at 5.
That's cool. Take Ashton Genty.
Who are you going to quarterback the team, coach?
You'll find out.
Okay, all right.
Wait. Shit, you're right. Because he might get off the board.
He probably will.
No, who else needs a quarterback?
The Jets.
Do they take him?
They probably would. And Papa Dion probably lets it happen too.
Let's see.
Take Genty?
Yeah, let's take Genty. Let's see. Is Sanders out the board?
No fucking way.
Is he still there?
He's still there.
Take Sanders.
Wait, no, he's not there.
He's not there?
He went 21 to Pittsburgh.
Really?
Wow.
Pittsburgh decides to take Shador. So he doesn't fall that far.
No, so you got your pick of Dylan Gabriel, Jalen Milroe, Will Howard.
That's what I was wondering. How far would Shador fall? And he would only go past.
According to PFF, this is how far he would fall. But I think
only to the Steelers. But I don't think he falls that far if Vegas is still right there too.
He don't fall out the top 8. Shador, just because of the brand, just because he's the second best quarterback on the board, and a lot of these teams do need quarterbacks. You know.
So who's the best player available right now?
Best player available, just in general, is Walter Nolan, interior lineman out of Mississippi. You already took Mason Graham. You do not need interior lineman.
He's an offensive lineman, right?
No, he's D-line. Walter Nolan, yeah, he's defensive interior.
Oh, okay.
You do got Mikael Williams, edge rusher out of Georgia.
And
you could pair him up with Jared Verse.
And we got Mason and Ashton, so we got a running back. We got a defensive lineman.
You still have Matthew Golden out of Texas. He's a wide receiver.
Take him.
Okay. Let's just look at wide receivers first. I wonder if there's anybody else that really stands out.
What about tight ends?
Tight ends. Just tight ends. You got your best guy is Colston Loveland out of Michigan.
What's his rank?
He's ranked 34. That wide receivers rank was 25. Matthew Golden.
Basically, he fits where we're at.
That's your guy. All
right,
probably. Since you traded Cooper Kupp, that's probably your guy.
Matthew Golden. Let's go with it. Let's see what grade we get.
What did they grade it, man? C+. I don't
like it.
No.
I don't like it because my goal was to be able to get Shador Sanders.
Shador at 25.
Now I wonder who are they saying we should have got with the number 4? Are they saying we should have got McMillan?
Well, Mason Graham was a good pick at 4. They're saying Genty at 6. Well, we should have taken Will Campbell instead.
That's what they're saying. We should have took a tackle.
Yep, we should have taken Will Campbell instead.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we should have. What were they giving us for Will Campbell? Probably like a B or A, something like that.
Probably, yeah.
We probably would have walked out of here.
Because the picks we made, like Matthew Golden was a B+, Mason Graham B+.
So really they're questioning the Ashton
I wish they graded
Genty.
the trades.
Yeah,
that's all right.
They're questioning the Ashton Genty.
Yeah, at 6.
Okay, that's been fun. Been fun. If I'm the Rams, I don't do all of this, but I will.
Way. And it would never happen.
It would never happen. But I would consider how many times there's a possibility if I could walk out of that first round with 3 picks. I would try to do it. I would try, because if you're giving up, if you're willing to trade Matthew, if you're willing to trade Cooper, then that tells me that in this draft you're looking for some guys. You're looking for some people to replace those two. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're looking for that. So Shador isn't falling to 26, and in order to move up to get something that replaces Matthew Stafford or Cooper Kupp, if you're willing to move on from both of them, you got to get into that top 8.
Yeah.
So this may not necessarily, they may or may not walk out with 3, but I can see this happening for the Rams. I can see them trying to pull this off.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is why we are not NFL GMs. This is why we play Madden, because we get to do shit like this. And this is why we stay on PFF.
If I was a GM, I would be going into every draft night ready to just cause havoc. I'd be calling
just trade
everybody.
your whole draft capital.
Yeah, I wouldn't trade all my draft capital, but I would move some things. If there's some guys I like, I would move some things around.
Yeah, I guess so.
All right, let's get into the halftime predictions. All right, free agency is on its way. The opening date, I believe, is March 12th. That's when we'll be able to officially, start bringing people in, start having these conversations. And my question for you is, what should the Bears just really do in free agency? I know we've talked about this. There's been an ongoing debate about whether or not we should focus on the line. Should we look at some of these wide receivers, because Keenan Allen might be gone? Is it tackle? Is it guard that we should be focusing on? Or is it that we need to figure out what to do with the defensive line? Should we focus on trying to get a Myles Garrett? Should we look at trying to trade for a Max Crosby, or bringing back Khalil Mack, and just all these different things? Where do you see the Bears targeting things in free agency?
I mean, I think they made it pretty clear that, especially Ben Johnson, that they're going to be very aggressive in improving the trenches. I think that is where football games are won and lost, especially in the playoffs. We saw that, on display in the Super Bowl, especially with the whole nation watching. And we know the Bears just lack that on both sides of the ball, in the trenches. And that's also one of the leading factors why there wasn't success last year, that why last year was such a failure. I think they attacked the trenches very hard. That's probably the first couple signings they make. Are probably offensive linemen, and maybe you go for a defensive guy. I think they probably sign offensive linemen and they draft D linemen. I think that's probably the route they take. As far as replacing Keenan Allen, because I do think he's probably gone after this season, just doesn't fit necessarily Ben Johnson's scheme whatsoever, and what he would want to do. I think that the Bears would probably, with their maybe one of their second round picks, they end up taking Isaiah Bond out of Texas. He's a speedster, very fast wideout, fits that Ben Johnson type of offense. I think that's a route they definitely take, and one I would be definitely satisfied with. Okay. Or just another wide receiver that's on the board as well that would fit that kind of scheme. But yeah, like I said, I just think they're very aggressive immediately. I believe it starts at like 4 p.m. Eastern time on March 12th. So as soon as we see that hit, I think within 5 to 10 minutes, we're probably already, okay, Trey Smith is finalizing a deal, we're going to see it from Adam Schefter, and we're going to see all this other stuff too. I do think it's going to be very, very aggressive from the get-go.
Okay. I see the Bears walking out of free agency with Drew Dalman, Mekhi Becton, Khalil Mack.
Okay. Mekhi Becton, really? You think he's leaving Philly?
I think he ends up leaving Philly. I think Chicago will pay him
for more money.
Because I think Philly is willing to move on from Becton because of how they draft, and I think like at last draft they drafted a guy in case Becton didn't work out or whatever the case may be. So I think they have a replacement in mind. The Bears are willing to move on from Tevin Jenkins. Kansas City is going to find a way to pay Trey Smith, especially with the fact that the cap jumped up more than what people thought. So probably that entire new cap space is going to go to Trey Smith. So if I'm Trey Smith, The only real reason why I would come to the Chicago Bears is maybe two reasons. One, if I just really wanted to play with Darnell Wright again, and if the Bears are just going to completely pay me something that's absurd. Otherwise, why would I leave the Kansas City Chiefs where I've already won 2 Super Bowls?
Of course.
And I had Patrick Mahomes as the quarterback, and I'm already integrated into the system. They love me. If they're going to pay me top dollar, why am I moving my family and doing all of this stuff just to come to the Chicago Bears just because they're going to pay me the same? It would have to be absurd.
Yeah.
So I think
and it will be.
It would have to be. It would have to be. It would have to be completely absurd that we paid Trey Smith to leave the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, if that happens, cool. But I do think the Bears are going to be somewhat financially and fiscally responsible enough to say there is a number that we're willing to go with Trey. And if the Kansas City Chiefs are somewhere in that ballpark, as same as the Bears, I do think he stays with Kansas City.
I could see that, and then I do think even with that like number per se, I think with just how aggressive the Bears are willing to be, especially since Trey Smith is only 24, 25 years old.
Yeah.
You got to pay the guy.
No, I know, of course
and I think they pay a number that Kansas City wouldn't be able to pay.
You think they're going to offer that?
Yeah.
You think they're going to offer something
And
absurd?
it won't just be the Bears offering that. New England's going to offer that.
Something absurd?
Yep. Like these teams that have the cap, they're going to offer him the absurd amount of money he wants. He's going to have to just choose where he wants to go. And it's going to be somewhere other than Kansas City, I think, personally. I don't think Kansas City will be able to get to that amount. It's going to be a bidding war.
If Travis Kelce retires,
I don't think he will.
He can retire and they
Not
can just
this year.
and they can re-sign him.
Not this year.
He can retire and they can just re-sign him.
Yeah, but I still don't think so.
But let's say he retires. He retires, and that opens up more cap space as well.
I mean, maybe at that point, but I still don't think they have enough cap to be able to pursue that high contract.
So let me ask you this. What do you think the Bears are going to be willing to pay Trey Smith that Kansas City can't match?
I mean, it's probably upwards or around the ballpark of $30 million, per year. I think that's probably what you're looking at.
Well, with the new cap space, I think Kansas City can get up to 30.
I think they cap out around 24 to 25.
With what they can offer him.
Yeah, but I think they do probably transition tag him. So essentially make him like a restricted free agent type of thing. But yeah, if I think the rules apply, if a team gives more than what the Kansas City Chiefs are able to offer, then he's able to pursue that route as well.
So here's the fast news about the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs have approximately $7.9 million in current cap space, but Kansas City can free up to $38 million by restructuring Patrick Mahomes' deal.
Yeah, but that's just not going to happen.
I don't know, Coach.
Mahomes going to get his money.
No, he's already under contract. What I'm saying is they can restructure his deal to free up $38 million. Which then gives you your $30 million that you can pay Trey Smith.
I don't think they're comfortable with paying Trey Smith that much either, though.
Why wouldn't they?
I don't know, because they have other needs.
What other needs?
They got to do something about the D-line. They got to give somebody. They got to give Chris Jones somebody, or Chris Jones gonna fuck around and leave.
I think they can find somebody serviceable,
but it ain't gonna be cheap.
It may not be as expensive.
You know what I mean? So
thought.
it's troubling to try and find that guy on the defensive side of the football for D-line, because D-line's very fucking expensive. Even for some of these middle tier guys, they're very expensive.
I guess all I'm saying is there is a way for Kansas City to pay Trey Smith just as absurdly.
I don't think as absurd as the value is going to get. Like, I think it's going to go upwards of 30 even. I think he's going to get probably one of the most lucrative offensive lineman deals.
So you're going to walk away paying a guard $35 million a year.
I mean, fuck, maybe, dude. Maybe.
Nobody's doing that.
Maybe. You don't know.
Nobody's doing that. Nobody's going to pay a guard $35 million a year.
That's what we say, but we don't know.
If that happens, and he gets $35 million a year, I promise you, if that interior line anywhere gives up one sack, everybody is going to be talking about the $35 million guy. I don't even know if he will want that type of pressure. He might want the money, but that type of pressure, I don't know.
He's going to be cool with it if he's making his money.
Well, I mean, I guess you can deal with any type of scrutiny when
Yeah.
you're making $35 million
Right.
a year. People can call you ugly, chunky, fat, talk about you all day if you're making $35 million a year. At least that's what you would think. But all I know is that I do think what I'm saying is Kansas City will find. Ultimately, what I'm saying is the reason why I got the Bears getting Mekhi Becton is because I do think that the Kansas City Chiefs will find a way, basically do to the restructuring of Patrick Mahomes' deal, like I talked about before.
Yeah.
Restructure his deal, restructure Chris Jones' deal, restructure Travis Kelce deal, get them all in a room and say, here's how we have to restructure things to get some more help in here. If they can do that and pull that off successfully between restructuring those deals, then they will find a way to keep Trey Smith at home, and that's why I have the Bears getting Mekhi Becton, which will be less than what you have to pay Trey Smith, but then that will open the window to getting somebody like a Khalil Mack or somebody like that as an edge rusher in Dennis Allen's 4-3 defense.
I see the reasoning for sure.
Yeah.
I see it.
So that's my prediction for the Bears free agency.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
Sounds good?
That's good.
Cool to you?
If that were to happen, I would not be mad either, though. Mekhi Becton is solid. Drew Dahlman's great. And then you could pick up a guy on the defense. That still would satisfy me as a Bears fan.
All right. Well, we're going to keep doing these draft simulators because that was fun as shit. But we're also glad that you guys came to watch, two coaches just kind of talk it out today about these various amount of topics. But as always, we need you to like the videos. We need you to subscribe to our YouTube. We need you to follow us on Instagram and TikTok, and keep talking in the comments. We love everything you guys are saying.
Mm-hmm.
We're getting back to you guys as quick as possible. We love the debates. We love the cancer. We love everything that's happening. So we love the engagement. So yeah, keep it up. Like I said, follow us on Instagram and TikTok. Please, please, please hit that subscribe button. We're getting a lot of views on a lot of our shorts, a lot of our clips, but it's not translating to the subscriptions on YouTube. So it's just really simple. If you like what we're doing, just subscribe to us, baby. That's all you got to do.
Takes
2
seconds,
seconds,
guys.
3 seconds. If you like what we're doing, give us a quick subscription, subscribe to us, and that's all we need. But as always, it's been another episode of the Halftime Podcast. This is episode what, Coach?
22.
22. That's a good number. It's been episode 22 of the Halftime Podcast. I'm Coach Malcolm.
And I'm Coach Conrad.
And as always, you know how we do it. See red and bear down, baby.